Welcome back to Slothbox. I'm Lyndon Dixon, joined today by Macauley McGowan. Macauley, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Really good. Yeah.
Good,
So,
perfect. I want to go right back to the start. Tell me, how did you first get into boxing?
don't think anyone's ever asked me this question. Uh, first got into boxing. I always remember wanting to go boxing because I always knew that my dad used to box.
Mm.
So I had like this B&M like boxing bag, like it was from B&M. I remember it, and like I remember hanging it from like my light. Like it didn't help and safety. I was gonna blow my house up. I was hanging it from my light or something. But yeah, and I had these little Mike Tyson shorts, and I'd always go, when am I gonna go boxing? When am I gonna go boxing?
Mm.
And that was from like 6, 7, and then I moved house. And my mate was going to a boxing gym, and he was talking like we were just chatting about it. My dad asked him what gym he went to, and he said Jimmy Egan's, and my dad went, "Oh, that's where I boxed." And yeah, the rest is history, as they say.
Perfect. So, how did the amateurs go for you? Are you happy now you've turned pro, or did you like the amateur game?
I love the amateurs. I wish I never went. I wish I never went pro as early as I did.
Mm.
Like I wish I went pro about 20, early 23. But I should have stayed longer, maybe 24, 25. I wish I just absolutely milked them for what they was. They were like, they were really good times. Like you could just fight, you turned up, you boxed, you went home, and you just trained constantly. The camaraderie in the gym, it was amazing. And I went pro at like 18, 19. It was ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe like I had someone guiding me at that time, telling me the right and wrong, but no one could tell me anything. I was just like, no, I'm doing it my way. So, yeah.
But nonetheless, you made your pro debut against, I think, Jason Nesbitt on a decent little Frank Warren card. There was Eubank Jr. on there, Jack Catterall, but you only get your debut once. How was the debut for yourself?
The debut went really good, actually. I remember, like, for amateur fights, I got really nervous. I was always dead nervous for amateur fights, but my pro fight, I just like didn't get nervous. It was weird. Jason Nesbitt is mad. I debuted against Jason Nesbitt, and Andy Morris from Withenshaw. He was British champion. He debuted against Jason Nesbitt as well. So yeah, so it's mad. Well, I think it's like 15 years later. So yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, it was good. I will elaborate. Martin Geffen boxed Derry Matthews. Eubank was on there. It was mad seeing Chris Eubank Senior. Just around. It was just crazy to be around. But yeah, I was happy with my debut.
But fast forward now, you're 17-3 with 2 draws. Mate, I've obviously heard of you before. I've been a fan for a while, but just looking at your box rec, it's been one journey, mate. But how do you feel about the journey so far?
More recently, I'm more happy with it. I got a bit bitter, not bitter, but like just a bit like fed up with it. I weren't happy just boxing journeyman, to be honest. Like I was 15. Don't get me wrong, I hadn't just boxed journeyman. There was a few that weren't journeyman, but it just weren't satisfying. It just weren't satisfying just boxing journeyman. And then so just like when lockdown come, I had a lot going on. I just thought, you know what, I'm just gonna throw myself in. Like what is there to lose? So that's what I did. And like my record's all a bit patchy, and then I come back with a few wins, and then I got a draw last time out. But looking back at looking back in hindsight, I think, fair fucks to me. Like like I always knew, like even as a kid or growing up going pro, I thought I'll always have like a bit of a weird record because I'll just chuck myself in. And when it's all said and done, I want to be able to look back and go, that was a pretty good journey. That it weren't just like plain sailing, fucking whatever. It was like a bit mix and match, and I've got a story to tell, a bit of a story on each fight. So I'm happy now. I am happy.
But you mentioned there, that's the thing. It hasn't been plain sailing through the whole of your career, and I like that about you. But like I said, when I was looking at Box Rec earlier, it's amazing. It's like you say, there's a story to each fight. But what's been your favourite fight so far?
My favourite fight. It's mad because I never got a result out of any of them. It was probably Martinez or my last one.
Mm.
Yes, Martinez. So the Martinez was mad, like fighting Sergio flipping Martinez. Like,
Mental.
how have I, coming off 2 losses, not boxed for a year, get an opportunity to fight Sergio Martinez? Like, this is fucking absurd. So, but yeah, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the build up. Madrid's a great city, was a great city, and Joe really gets like the most out of each situation, every event, and so the 2 away fights that we've had together, I have really enjoyed them. They've been the highlights of my career, really. Like, just especially the last time out, we went over there, just me and him, like we were going to get the job done, and we felt like we did. So that was a good story, but we should have got the win, really. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one as well.
You mentioned him there, Joe Gallagher. I just wanted you to tell me about that relationship because you mentioned him there. Joe gets the most out of every situation, and I feel like, from what I can see, you two get along pretty well. So, what's that relationship like? And for yourself, why Joe Gallagher?
Just he's a Wimshire lad. I'm a Wimshire lad. Why Joe? On the spot here. He just, I don't know. I just felt like when I first went to the gym, the first day, it felt like I should have always been there. It was mad. It felt like I knew him for years. Obviously, I'd known of him for years. And with Calf, always like just said the odd message. He knew my dad. He boxed with my dad in the amateurs. He had the same amateur coach as me, Jimmy Egan. But I don't know, there was just like this homeliness to like the gym. Just the way he ran it, it just felt like, wow, this is where I should have always been. And like the relationship that we have, I couldn't have asked for a better person in and outside the ring, to be honest.
Next up, you mentioned that you're looking forward to the next one. It's Tyler Denny on a card in his hometown, Birmingham. How are you feeling about that fight, and how are you feeling about your opponent?
Oh, I love it. I love it. You know, this is what I love boxing for. Getting told you're fighting that fighter in the away corner in their hometown. That's what boxing's about for me. Like I say about the amateurs and stuff, I just love that. I will be the underdog, but I'm really confident. I'm in an absolutely amazing place, like physically, mentally. Like I'm ready to do the business. Tyler Denny, what a great fighter! Like you talk about my boxer, it's all patchy. Look at his box record. Like you go down and you're like, what the fuck? Like if you were from, obviously I'm not fighting, say I'm not fighting him from a boxing point of view, you go, that's a proper fucking fighter. That's great. So I followed his career like since I think it was the River. What's his name? Sorry.
Yeah, River Wilson.
River Wilson belt.
Yeah.
So the first fight with him, and then I've kind of just like when he comes on, I go, oh, watch that. He's a good fighter. So he's done the business. Like especially against Brad Ray, that was in Manchester. Obviously, I was supporting Brad because he's a Manchester lad, and I know Brad. But yeah, and he's done the business. Like he's done the business the way I want to do the business.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'll probably find it weird that he's probably the favourite and the hometown fighter, and but he'll respect the fact that I'm coming. Like he's been coming, so he'll know I'll be hungry for it, and I'll be preparing to my utmost best.
You mentioned it there. You're in the away corner, and not for the first time in your career, but you said there you loved it. Do you use that as motivation to get yourself up for fights like this?
I don't need anything to get up for a fight like this. I'm fighting. You know what I mean? But yeah, it just adds to it, doesn't it? Like I say, it's a story in it. Like in years to come, I'll be like, yeah, I went as the away fighter. I've got the job done, and it's just good. It's just when I hear a story, especially like we're training Champs Camp now in Moss Side. I don't know if you know, but all the stories from Champs Camp, they went as the away fighter. They got the call last minute. I mean, I ain't got the call last minute. Don't get me wrong, but like they went and they got the job done, and just great stories. And I think I'm gonna have them stories to tell one day. So this is all part of it, another chapter. So yeah, I'm buzzing for it. I can't wait.
moving on from yourself, there is a massive fight this weekend. I'm sure you being a boxing fan, you're looking forward to it. It's Tank Davis against Ryan Garcia. Now, everyone I've spoke to, they said it's a great fight, but Tank finishes him. What's your opinion? How do you see it going?
I'm not even trying to be a devil's advocate here either. Like Joe asked me before, he said, "Who'd you think will win?" And I said Ryan Garcia. I just don't know. I just think Garcia he's good. He's good. I think we feel like he's a bit vulnerable because of the way he acts outside the ring. I think he's mentioned he's had problems outside and stuff. So we just think he's a bit vulnerable and he's not going to be able to handle it. But I think he's going to step up to the plate, mate, and get the job done.
Another big story is Anthony Joshua a few weeks ago on his Instagram saying that he's not fighting till December. Now, at that point in time, it didn't make a lot of sense. But Eddie Hearn yesterday was speaking to IFL and he said that there's been talks when he spoke to people in the Middle East saying that there's going to be a two-fight tournament with Fury, Wilder, Usyk, and Joshua. What do you think to that? Because that is crazy.
I just seen it on Twitter then. I don't think that's going to happen.
I can't see it happening either, but
I think they're going to bullshit us with that, and then they're going to get fucking Joshua v. Carlos Tacken 2 off the back of the hype. It's Eddie Hearn all over it.
Yeah.
He was promising Khan Brook for years, and then he'll announce Brook v. someone, or he'll announce Joshua v. It was Joshua Fury, and then now it's Joshua v. someone else. You just think so. You can't believe a word any of them say. I'd love for it to happen and get us all going, wouldn't it? But I don't think it will. There'll be some stumbling block along the way. I'd love to see Joshua v. Wilder, though. I'd love to see Joshua v. anyone. You know what I mean? Like Zhang, even Joyce off a loss. Just let them all mix it. Just because Joyce has lost don't mean anything. Like throw him in with someone else if the Zhang rematch don't come off.
It's been a pleasure speaking to you. But the last question for myself, like I said, you got a big fight against Tyler Denny, and from speaking to you, I can tell you can't wait for it. But when you get the win, where do you see yourself come the end of the year? Because, like you said, you feel physically great, mentally great. Where do you see yourself come the end of the year?
I'm up there fighting for the British. I'm up there fighting for the British. I know Tyler Denny stepped away from going that route because he's had about fucking 20 eliminators. But me, like, whether there's a title on the line with this or whatever, like, a win will elevate my career and will just put me up there. So I see myself being here and about, ready to fight for the British. That's how I see it. I've got a good year ahead of me, and starting May the 6th? Yeah, May the 6th.
Yeah. Well, mate,
May the 6th.
Yeah, mate. Like I say, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. I've been Lyndon Dixon. He's been Macauley McGowan, and we'll see you on the next one.
Oh, brilliant! Nice one. Thank you.